You think ChatGPT is just a chatbot? That's about to become the most outdated idea in tech. In the next few weeks, OpenAI is quietly rolling out the biggest transformation since ChatGPT launched in 2022. And here's the part nobody's talking about. They're not just upgrading a chat tool. They're building a machine that can take over your computer, write your code, manage your calendar, and run your life. The era of AI for conversation is over. What's coming next will make you question whether you even need to touch a keyboard again. Here's what's actually happening. OpenAI is taking Codex, their fastest-growing programming tool, and shoving it directly into ChatGPT. This isn't a minor update. It's a complete redefinition of what that chat window is for. Instead of just answering questions, it will now execute tasks. Draft emails from your Slack messages. Build complex spreadsheets. Automate your morning routine by pulling your calendar and inbox into a single command. One OpenAI executive put it bluntly, the goal is to give everyone an agent that can do anything on your computer. But here's the thing most people miss. This shift wasn't born from some grand vision. It was forced by a competitor. In late 2024, internal benchmarks showed that Anthropic's models were beating OpenAI at coding. By February 2025, Anthropic released Claude Code, and OpenAI realized they were losing the race. That's when they panicked. They formed a dedicated Codex team, gave it unprecedented autonomy, and even open-sourced parts of the code to get direct user feedback. The result? Codex's weekly active users hit 5 million by the end of May. Revenue from enterprise clients grew 50% week over week. And CEO Sam Altman revealed that overall Codex usage is climbing 5% every single day. What does this mean for you? In the short term, you'll see a flood of prompts and buttons on ChatGPT's interface, guiding you toward coding tools, image generation, and partner apps from Canva and Booking.com. But that's just a transition phase. The long-term vision is far more radical. The model will learn to understand your intent automatically. You won't need to choose between Codex and ChatGPT. You'll just speak, and the system decides whether to run the task locally or in the cloud. One engineer described it as the beginning of the transition to AGI. The underlying engine for all this is GPT 5.5, released in April. It handles long, multi-step tasks without constant hand-holding. As one developer put it, by GPT 5.5, Codex's advantage was too big to ignore. Trust built fast. Notion engineers noticed Codex silently fixing bugs in their code that other agents had missed for weeks. The desktop app launched in February made it accessible to non-technical users, and the numbers exploded. But here's the uncomfortable truth. OpenAI is preparing for an IPO. They need to show investors real revenue, not just user growth. Currently, about 200 million enterprise users contribute 40% of their revenue. They want that to hit 50% by year-end. Codex is the key because most of its users are already paying subscribers. Meanwhile, Anthropic's annualized revenue hit $47 billion in May, compared to OpenAI's $30 billion. The pressure is immense. So they're betting everything on this super app strategy. They killed the ChatGPT shopping checkout feature. They shut down Sora, their video generation product. They're sacrificing consumer toys for enterprise tools. The logic is brutal. If you can get 9 billion consumer users to pay even a little for an agent that actually does your work, the cash flow becomes a tidal wave. The final question is the one that keeps Altman up at night. Will millions of people who've gotten used to free chit-chat actually pay for an agent that works for them? The answer will determine who controls the next era of AI. And the cards are only now being dealt.